get to the bag, ayy. Got the foot on the gas, pedal to the metal when the lane moving fast, ayy, ayy. Let them all cross. If they hate, then let them hate and make a bigger boss, ayy.
Hey guys, before we jump into the episode, I wanted to let you know it is brought to you by Revenova, the official TMS provider for the Freight Coach. You guys, I've been a broker for a long time, and the tools that are at your disposal with Revenova help you eliminate bouncing between systems, which improves your accuracy when you are managing multiple tasks throughout your workday. Plus, it's built into the Salesforce cloud, so your CRM is fully integrated with your TMS, eliminating yet another silo. In today's day and age, you are definitely concerned about the safety of your data. With Revenova, it's fully protected. They have cutting-edge security that keeps your information safe so you can focus on what matters most, and that's growing your business. Speaking of growing your business, with Rate and Lane IQ, you get real-time pricing and route recommendations, helping you optimize costs and improve operational efficiencies, which ultimately helps you make smarter decisions. If you are like me and have recurring shipments from non-EDI customers, they have intuitive cloning features that let you easily replicate previous shipments, saving both shipper and carrier rates with just a few taps. If you are ready to learn more, visit www.revenova.com to request a demo. Just do me a favor and let them know that the Freight Coach sent you. This episode is brought to you by SPI Logistics, the premier freight agent logistics firm in North America. For over 40 years, SPI has been diligently building the most successful freight agent network to provide first-class relationships for our shippers, receivers, and carrier partners. We are more than another transportation network. We are a dedicated team of professionals united by one singular purpose, and that is to expedite our agents' success. All of our agents are set up for success on day one, as they are provided with a full suite of support staff that is ready to assist them with everything from after-hours emergencies to financial and administrative needs on a no-fee basis. This way, you can focus on continuing to grow your business. There is no financial risk to start, and you have the ability to earn up to 75% in commissions. If you are looking to take control of your financial future and build your business with the backing of one of the most successful logistics firms in North America, visit www.spi3pl.com to learn more. Do me a favor and let them know that the Freight Coach sent you. Ease up, ladies and gentlemen. We are back. We are live. It is the Freight Coach Podcast, the top podcast in transportation, coming to you guys every single weekday, 8:30 a.m. Pacific, 10:30 Central, to break down some industry headlines. But most importantly, you guys provide some actual insight into what you can do with all of this information. This is your first time tuning in. Welcome. This is the real side of freight, ladies and gentlemen. And I do say that before every single show. And what I mean by that is I only speak with transportation professionals, because at the end of the day, I want to talk to the right individuals who have done what you're looking to do or who are currently doing what you're trying to achieve. So you can take that information, apply it, utilize it, and see a meaningful difference in your business and your life. Happy Thursday, everybody. I got a very special guest for you guys here. I'm bringing him back on. We got to talk about, we're talking more about AI and technology, but most importantly, like the human aspect of it, right? Like, I think it's very easy to get caught up and lost in the getting rid of the human element of it, but like, how do we keep it involved, right? And that's something, an internal thing inside of my company that we're looking at all the time is like, hey, how do we automate to a point, but keep that human touch to where our customers know that it's us still running the show out there? So I would like to welcome back my good friend, Chris Wyndham with Revenova, back on the show. Chris, thank you so much for jumping on here today.
Oh, good morning. Thank you for having me. Always excited to be able to chop it up with you for a few minutes. So I'm excited to be with you this morning.
You know, I was thinking as I was doing the intro, Chris, I'm like, it's so ironic that you run a tech company, but you also never want your company to lose that human element of it. When so many businesses are removing headcount from their company, it seems like you guys are taking the opposite approach. Like, no, we want to double down on the person.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. If you're following Revenova, any of the things that we're putting out online, you'll see that we value our team and we value our customers above all else. That human connection that we have, that's our competitive advantage. That may sound a little old school and trite, but if you talk to us, if you hang out with us, if you give us an opportunity to partner with you, you'll see that it's real for us. We know that the most valuable thing that we can do in a given day is to be able to have exchanges with customers like these, be able to talk to you directly, be able to have those meaningful conversations. So yeah, we're heavy on automation, heavy on AI, but it's so we could free up time to be able to have these type of meaningful one-on-ones, never removing the human from the loop, just making the human better while in the loop.
Yeah. No. So you guys had your user conference here first time first user conference here a couple weeks back, and you were saying, and it looked like it was very well attended out there.
Yes.
What was that like, kind of being in the room with all of your customers out there? What are they kind of seeing? Kind of recap that a little bit.
One of the best experiences I've ever had professionally, to be honest with you. In 25 years of endeavoring to have, really good user conferences, I've attended many, I've participated in many. This one was unique, I think, in a lot of aspects. One, just the transparency and the openness of our customers and our users who showed up. And I would say they showed up in droves. I mean, we had 200 people in the ballroom to kick off, and they've dedicated 2 days of their time to come to Chicago to be with us. The insights were rich. When we look back, being able to get some of our customers on the stage, like Austin Wallen and David Abel and just others like those two gentlemen, to get up and talk about real practical ways, the guys who are in the grind every day doing the work, but how they're utilizing our technology, our partners' technology, how they're tackling challenges that every freight broker and every fleet operator face, just that real world experience. And again, it was people getting in the room, smart people getting in the room and having really open conversations. It was a huge blessing.
How important is that now, do you think, to almost bring those events back up there? Because it's like, I look at with where things are, and it's seemingly there's so, like, when you see the amount of automation that's being pushed out there, which obviously I'm a fan of, but
absolutely,
it's like, how, like, it seems like the human touch is just getting slowly and slowly removed from that. And it's like, we're tribal by nature. So it's like, are we relying too much on that? Or are we going to put an over reliance on that? And could that cause an unintended negative side effect where it's like, now, like, there's just no people involved and like business isn't done anymore?
Yeah, that's right. Well, that user conference is the prime example. I took 35 of our key employees pretty much off of their day-to-day work for 2 days because there was nothing more important than being present, completely present in the room with our users, partners, and prospects. Those who were attending were doing the same thing. They were walking away from the day-to-day operation of their business for most part, because it was kind of a bell-to-bell exchange.
Yeah.
Leaving behind, their high-quality employees with the high-quality tools that they've given them to run and operate the business in their stead while they were with us. And it went off phenomenally. So how does that happen? You've got the right people who are supporting your business so it can free you up to go and have transformative experiences like the Revenova user conference. It also shows that the technology that you've put in place helps you run your business to the point that you're not always having to sit there and have your person on the computer looking at it every second of the day, because you have automations in place that are doing that for you. And what's more valuable? The experience of getting with 200 people in a room who are working to do the very same things you are, to gain insights for them, to be able to provide that human connection, that the energy that you bring that would not have been present had you not been there. All of those things are possible because technology and good tools and good people are using them. So for us, I came out of that user conference with some really 3 key takeaways that I ask our staff, I ask myself, and I think really if you're asking yourself, how do I utilize technology? How do I utilize AI specifically, but not dehumanize my business? Where do I start in that evaluation? And I've kind of broke it down to 3 simple questions that we're asking ourselves that I think would be relevant even for us to look at today.
Yeah, no, I would love to hear it, right? Because I'm right there with you, where I'm like, how do we automate just enough, but don't have it be where it's like, am I talking, like, where my customers or my drivers are questioning, am I talking to a bot here?
That's exactly right. I mean, you talk to everyone who's in your position, and they all say that their competitive advantage is the human touch, the customer support they give, the trust that they're able to build, and that's done in human exchange. So I asked 3 questions. 1, what do I do repeatedly, daily and repeatedly with very little variation? And if there are a lot of those things present in my life, I attempt to automate those. I attempt to use AI to supplement me in those ways. It's not the best investment of my time to go and do repeatable tasks that can be aided in another way. It frees me up to be able to join with you this morning and be able to have this conversation. The second question I ask is, what would I say if I could talk to everybody who matters to me today in the next 30 minutes to an hour? Well, that would be impossible. I can't make that many phone calls. I can't send that many emails or text. I'm very fortunate to have a living grandfather left. And if I call him, we talk for 30 minutes and it takes us 30 minutes to say goodbye. There would be my hour. And that would be a rich, rich hour, but that would be one contact. So I say, what would I say if I could talk to everybody today? So I try to automate some messaging that I can send out, not to dehumanize it, but to engage and meet somebody right where they are. They can they can view it at their own time. They can glean from it what they need to. And if they need a one-on-one follow-up with me, they know that I'm readily available to them. And then thirdly, I ask myself, what are the things that are keeping me so busy that I'm not with my customers or future customers? Mm-hmm. And if those things that are on my plate can be automated, that I can utilize a different tool to be able to accomplish it so it frees me up, those are the places I start.
So I want to ask you more of like a freight tech question here from that follow-up, because, building customer loyalty, I think is, as a business owner, is a very challenging thing because there is so much competition that is out there. And, again, you're only as good as your last at bat. In my opinion, that is how I deduce business down with your relationships with your customers. Like, yeah, we can get along great, but you're only as good as your last at bat with your customer. How are you guys looking at a market differentiation strategy from every other freight tech company that's out there? There's going to be new competitors popping up in your space all the time. There's going to be market consolidation that happens. How do you mainly, strip away all the noise and focus on deep relationships with your customers in this world of where people send customer feedback surveys automated? And it's very clear to me as a customer of, vendors out there that like, all right, this is not coming from an actual person.
Yeah, well, I think so. We do customer surveys. We did a customer survey here recently and had 70% participation, which is phenomenal.
Yeah.
If you ask your customers to give you feedback and you get 30% response rate, that's best in class. We got a 70% meaningful response rate. They know that that's not a one-on-one just directly to them. I didn't ask them that. Just them in a one-on-one. I ask everybody who engages with us at whatever level. Did the same things with our partners. Mm-hmm. And the way that you build trust is, do you action the responses that they give you? Yeah. If you just send it out there and it's very clear that you're asking the same questions of everyone, that's not unique. But the responses themselves are you showing that you were caring enough about the data that you were able to collect? Technology provided the data, and now your humans can action that data. And I think the way that you build a lot of credibility is say, I've heard you. And because I've heard you, here's what we're doing in response. It takes a lot of the guesswork out of the equation. I've stopped guessing and stopped trying to assume and started asking really pointed questions. And then we respond to those things in kind. So technology, when I talked about it, if I could talk to every one of our customers today, I can't make that many phone calls. But I can say, hey, this is top of mind for us about our future roadmap. We can't do all things at the same time. We can do many things at once, but not all things at the same time. So we want to make sure we're doing the most impactful things. Well, why don't we ask all of our customers, hey, if we can only do this thing this month for you, which would have the highest value? And they tell you, hey, this above all else would provide more value than anything else that you're contemplating. And then you, in response, do that. Let them know that it's been delivered. My goodness, now that's a partner. And we utilize technology to find out how we could be a better one.
You brought up data a couple of times there, and that's something that I think right now with the market, the way that it's performing out there, your data is more relevant today in a market shift than it has been the last 4 years when there was all the stability in the world that was going on out there. And yes, pricing and capacity has stabilized. It's not as volatile as it was just a couple of weeks ago or a month ago that's out there. And then if you look at it from tracking your customer performance, and again, I was like anti-CRM for a very long time. I really was, because like I've bootstrapped everything, right? I had to wash my pennies, and then I started using the CRM and all the data that comes along with it, and actually using the data that my business has to my advantage. So like when you're looking at those core business relationships that are out there, how important is it to have your systems kind of embedded within each other to be able to maximize your data and maximize your organizational performance?
Yeah, I had a conversation with one of our customers at the user conference, and we talked about the difference of point of truth, one point of truth, and one point of execution. And I recognize that there are more and more tools out there. And when you've traditionally been a TMS like we are, you have for a long time been the point of truth. All data collection exists here. All data responses exist here. It is your data hub. And this customer was rightly pointing out that there are some other areas of his business that exist with outside of the CRM or outside of the TMS. And I said, well, while that still may be true, having those fed in, while it may not be the point of truth, the data collection and analyzation is happening outside of the TMS, having it injected in it, you still have one point of execution. Mm-hmm. So if you think about anything, when you've got tons of data just flowing around you, if you can collect that data, analyze that data, and then action that data from a single spot, it makes you that much more effective. You know, my wife and I are celebrating our 25th wedding anniversary next month.
Nice.
And there's a book that's right over my shoulder called The 5 Love Languages by a guy named Gary Chapman. And it's got all of these real life examples of how couples express and receive love. Mm-hmm. It was given to us as a wedding gift. We were young and vibrant and thought we knew everything, and we didn't read it. And then about 2 years into our marriage, man, our communication was breaking down, and we popped open that book that had been sitting in a nightstand. And it was like a playbook of our marriage and how we could be able to communicate with each other far more effectively. I could express a love in a way that she would receive it well and vice versa. There was a lot of data from 2 years of marriage that we were starting to say, how do we take all of these interactions we've had and then better address one another as a result? And we found it within that book of how we would do that. You know, that's kind of a human touch personal story. By the way, shout out to 25 years of marriage to Andrea Wyndham. It's not easy to be married to this guy for 25 years. I can promise you. But it didn't dehumanize our relationship because we were using data to make it better. Yeah. It actually made me a better husband. It made her a better wife. If you want to be better for your customers, think about all the interactions you've had with them, all the things that they're asking of you, all the things that they need from you. And if you can collect that data and say, okay, I can anticipate their next need and meet it better than I've ever met it before. Thank God for the data, and thank God for a tool that made you a better human in the loop.
Yeah, it's if there's anything, this is going to sound overly simplistic, if there's anything that I feel very confident about in building companies up is everything is a system. Like there is a system that is out there. There is data that is out there, and it tells a story. It's most people's, you know, again, talking about the dehumanization aspect of it. This is where I actually believe in the dehumanization of removing the human emotion from your connection to your ideas and the execution upon those ideas. Like I just put out a post yesterday about that. Like the hardest thing for me in business has been systems development, because when you're an employee of a large company, you're operating inside of a system that people have ironed out over decades, more times than not. Statistically, most businesses don't make it past a couple of years. So when I say decades, I'm not over exaggerating. Then that's what the leadership of those companies are focusing in on. So when people come in, they plug into that system. And I look at with where data is today, and it's like, it's more of like me as a founder. If I was, I have an ego. I'm not going to sit here and say that I don't have one. But if my ego stopped me from paying attention to the data that says this is not working, you have to change course, that I think kills a lot of businesses. So it's like when you're looking at the data of your company, it doesn't matter if you move 4 truckloads in a month or 40 in a day.
That's right.
There is data that is going through that is telling your story in one way or another. And you need to capture that data and have it go out into the market to help you grow your business, because it is a system when you boil it down. Like pricing freight, for example, it is a system. There, you know, prospecting customers, it is a system. There is everything that is out there, and you have to deduce and strip away all of that information. And your company has all of that stuff already inside of your 4 walls. And that's where it's like you do need to leverage technology to your advantage right now, because again, you can get to that conclusion and it can save you months. And most businesses that are bootstrapped, right? We have limited capital, we have limited runway to make that idea work, to where it's like you can use this data and make that decision 30 days or 60 days sooner. That's going to inject life back into your business to keep that dream going.
What is your number one when you're out there in this highly competitive market and you're trying to get freight from point A to point B and you're trying to win business? What's the number one thing that you're concerned about when you have competitors trying to do the same?
My number one concern is that, and this is, it's going to be just because there's so much early on in relationships that is built on price.
Yeah.
And it is somebody coming in, and it is that just inevitable undercutting, and we lose that opportunity and we get shut off. I would say that's my biggest concern out there. I know on a service to service comparison, we won't be beat. On a communication to communication comparison, we won't be beat. But I cannot compete with larger companies out there that have budgeted out, we will lose X amount of dollars a month on freight to keep the freight moving through our books.
Yeah, absolutely. But do you find that your customers, there's a sense of urgency that they have in the response from you because they don't have forever to go and analyze what's the best price out there always?
Yeah, more often than not. And especially right now, like to tie it into the current state of the market, my customers are more like, we don't need an explanation. What do you need to move our freight right now? Like, we have to get this freight off our dock. Speed is everything. And I think that is another thing where people aren't using data to their advantage. They overanalyze the data. Like, at the end of the day, and again, like, you can call this, overly simplistic. Customers don't care about anything other than, do you have a truck to pick up our freight when we're in times like we are right now, when people keep like, oh, my driver's going to, it's tomorrow, it's tomorrow, it's tomorrow. They need the stuff picked up right now. They will pay more money if you actually have a truck.
Speed of response.
Yeah.
One of the easiest things to automate in your business is, what is keeping me from slow to respond?
Mm-hmm.
How much is this going to cost? Who is available? How long will it take me to get it there? All of these things that you're doing, that all of that data can be automated. All of those questions can be answered through technology. I mean, we've built that at Revenova. With a one-on-one conversation with us, let's have that human conversation. We can show you exactly how we provide those benefits to our customers. And when prospects are doing their evaluation, look, there are variable costs and there are fixed costs in every single business, regardless of what business that it is. And one of the most expensive and valuable is time. It's a fixed thing. There's only so much of it. So speed, how quickly can I get from asked to answered to moved on, is where technology has to be embraced. If you're still looking at every one of these things individually and it's taking you X amount of minutes to be able to respond, yeah, you might get undercut in price, but likely you've already gotten undercut in your speed.
Yeah. What are some of those bottlenecks though? Like, if we're looking at task automation, I know that some people go back and forth on, do I want to automate quoting, or do I want to automate a certain thing out there? Like, I had Tabby on the show recently, because like, again, I like their product. I love the fact of like rate automation. There's a time and a place for all of that stuff out there. So it's like, how are you guys working on that from a task automation standpoint? Is it direct customer feedback? Like, hey, we need this integration done, or we need this help? Because again, speed kills all deals. Like, I don't care what anybody says, overly simplistic statement, but speed will kill all of your deals if you cannot provide a solution.
Yeah, the way that we're prioritizing the AI solutions that we're providing is we start small. And there's a million things that we can do and have already automated or already built AI around for our customers. But those who are maybe embracing it for the first time, we endeavor to start small. What are the things that are just those nuisances within your business, the things that are just driving you crazy? But we always ask our customers, potential customers, to say, let's go back and ask those that are putting their hands to the work every single day, the things that are frustrating to them. Ask your teams, your humans, ask them, what are the things that if I could be able to automate this, it would make me so much faster in the ways that I can respond? And then partner with somebody who's trusted and has done it already. Mm-hmm. Learn from the experience of others. Take somebody like us who is we should be, as a TMS, we should be technologically advanced. Come to us with those needs and say, look, even if I don't want to take it from hello to thank you and it be completely automated, here are the parts of that process that I would benefit most from automating. And whether it's from stem to stern or different points along the way, then let's meet you where you are and let's automate those things. Let's provide the AI agents necessary to be able to do those, whether it's pricing, response, follow-up, engagement. How about being able to go out and say, I recognize a pattern within this customer of mine that they are needing freight moved at X amount of capacity, at X amount of frequency, and X amount of times, instead of daily or weekly wondering what's coming. What if you had AI that was out there telling you, it really looks like this customer is about to have this need before based on their patterns, and your humans are already on the phone saying, hey, I want to anticipate a need that you have. Yeah. And because you have this need already, here's what we can do to move it. Is that going to be something that's coming up for you? That's powerful. Man, think about it. If somebody calls you and says, hey, I can meet a need before you express it, what kind of partner is that?
Yeah.
That's a proactive partner as opposed to one that's reactionary. So let's find places in your business that we can help you do that.
Do you think, and this is more of like, because I'm thinking down the road here, right? Like obviously where I think a lot of people miss out on advancements in technology is they're reacting to it as opposed to thinking, where is it going in the future? Yeah. Where, like as the Wayne Gretzky thing said, like, where's the puck heading? And that's where you got to skate to. If I'm looking at like the infrastructure of my company and like future proofing it to a point, do you think we're going to get down to it to where because every business operates differently, right? As I'm sure you guys hear from your customers, everybody tenders differently, routing guides, RFPs, everything's different out there. Yes. Do you think we get to a point where there's more of a unified operation on the supply chain side of things, i.e. shippers and everything like that, to where, to your point there, you're going to be able to go to them with the solution for a problem they're not even aware that they have?
100%. Absolutely. We're going to become more standardized because technology is going to force us to be.
Okay.
So the competitive advantage is going to be in that human exchange. But yes, if you do not implement these tools, new entrants into that haven't done it the certain ways for 10 years and are beholden to pattern or history, established systems, as you said it earlier. They're saying, look, I want to come in here and I don't have an established system, so I need a best in class. I need a standard operating procedure. They're going to reset the standard because they are going to be willing to do all of those things that you talked about, pricing, tendering, all of that. They're going to be willing to say, spit out to me a response. And they're going to look at that response and say, yes, I approve that, and send it. And their speed is going to be infinitely faster than we can do it in quote unquote the old way. So, but look, when you already have established business, you said that I'm only as good as my last interaction. Go to your customers and tell them the ways that you utilize the technology to make sure that they don't have to go to a new entrant and who's going to come in there and do it faster and better than you. Show them how that you are evolving. Give them some technology. Ask them. Say, when you're doing business with us, you got a shipper or a driver. When you're doing business with us, where is it painful and where is it easy? And when they identify that pain point, call me. Call me. Let's see if we can't automate that. Let's see if we can't take that pain out of our communication.
Yeah, it's, I like what you said about like the standardized systems that are going to be out there, because I'm right there with you. Like technology is going to force everybody to operate the same in regards to like technology, I don't know, code or however you guys build out code, to make systems talk out there. Yeah. It's going to force it to get to that point. And then it's going to, I personally think it's going to be a competitive advantage out there in the market for the people who are bringing that technology to their customers, because I personally think that is a vast frontier of opportunity shipper technology. And then as a broker, I personally think that's going to be the standard is having brokers have a system that they can give to the shippers for free to operate on and tender their freight. I think that's where like a consolidation opportunity could present itself, right? And then the asset light brokers that, they own trucks and a brokerage, that they have one unified system that's talking, and it's like a closed loop at that point. I think that is where things are going. And I also think from like an RFP pricing standpoint, Chris, I am a believer that RFPs are going to go away, and it's going to be down to like 30-day pricing, where it's like you got to lock in rates for the next 30 days. But tech is going to be so fast, it's going to spit out 1,000 lanes in like less than a second.
Absolutely. I come from a world in the last 25 years where I've been in the used auto industry and other retail-based industries. Pricing is always king. And used to, you would get like a monthly book that would tell you the pricing of a year, make, model, and trim. Then it became a weekly book, and then it became a bi-weekly book, and then it became at the touch of a finger, or the scan of a VIN. I get all of those values. So those who were utilizing that scan of a VIN technology could put numbers on trades immediately. Those who could scan that VIN and see the value of a piece of inventory, that helped us be able to select cars so we knew we could sell faster for better profits. Same thing's just coming to this market. It's just coming to it slower. The same technologies that answers all of those questions that once we had X amount of time to do, it's now becoming, if I can't do it instantaneously, I'm going to lose. I'm going to lose my competitive advantage. You fascinate me, Chris, because in fact, you drive conversations that we have with our technology teams internally, because you have publicly stated that you want to build a $100 million freight business with a 10-person staff.
Yeah.
And I understand that between $100 million and your where you are today and where you are going is the technology that we can provide, the automations we can provide, the AI agents that we can provide. And so when there are aspirations out there like you have, I don't think those are pipe dreams. I think those are plans, and I think they're better than goals even. I think you're foreshadowing your future. So we're trying to say, where do we come in to make that possible for you?
I look at it where it's, I don't want to say like mega corporations are going to go away by any stretch of the imagination. I just think that there's an opportunity here in the next, I'm going to say 2 years. I don't think anybody who says the next 5 years, they're lying, because like it's moving so fast out there. But I just look at it where it's going to revert back to old school methodologies for customer relationships and deepening that. But because automation is going to be so fast behind the scenes operationally, where I'm going to be able to do a week's worth of work in like an hour. I think it's going to get to that point. And then I'm going to have 39 free hours of my day to call my customers, fly to my customers, show up at their front door, do old school ways to build that connection that I think has been replaced right now with short-term technology, where, you know, you look at business development, for example. You're the CEO of a company, Chris. I could only imagine the amount of automated fake AI outreach that hits your inbox or your DMs on a daily basis, where it is just slop.
Oh my God.
That is going to be a commonplace here for, I would say, the next 2 years. But the opportunity is going to be, how do you build that deep relationship with your core customers to where they know that, hey, yeah, we automate everything, but it is me who's running the show still, and no other thing.
Yeah, you know what's hilarious is I actually have an AI bot that reads all of my AI prospecting emails. And then it gives me a summary.
Yeah.
Because I get so many in a given day. And you know what it allows me to do? I can't read all of those emails. But it gives me a quick summary of the hot points. And then I call out my trusted customers and say, hey, listen, I'm getting inundated with these things or opportunities that I can provide for you. Would it actually be of value? No. Yes. And something strikes a nerve. And they say, not only is that of value, man, I would pay for that. Or not only is that of value, is if you could provide that for me, I won't be fielding all these phone calls from people trying to gain my business from you. I'm sticking with you. There are things that strike nerves. But to your point, I'm using technology to be able to help me get the themes and the understandings of what's available so that we deliver a product that's purpose-driven, that is very solution-driven, that is very intentional to your needs, and it's anticipating your needs.
Chris, I love it. We flew through this one, man. I feel like we could just keep going on this, because there's so much to talk about in regards to this, but like from the actual application process of it, instead of just like the pipe dream that marketing is pushing out there all over social media right now. Because I am willing to bet the farm on the fact that we will eventually revert back to face-to-face interactions, small, intimate events. And that's just because like we crave that. At the end of the day, we are tribalistic beings. We need to be around other people. And eventually people are going to get sick and tired of automation for everything. And they're just going to want to talk to somebody.
That's right. Well, let's automate all the things that are keeping you from having those conversations so you can go have them. No. That's what we exist to do, if I were to say it simply. Hey, remember those 3 things, though. Just ask yourself 3 questions today. 1, what do I do repeatedly with very little variation? 2, what would I say if I could say it in mass and say it effectively today? And then thirdly, what's keeping me so busy from having a conversation with someone like you? Those are the places where we need to start and where we use AI to supplement us and not replace us.
I love it. Chris, thank you so much for your time. How does anybody reach out to you guys to find out more about what you got going on at Revenova?
Yeah, come to revenova.com. There's multiple ways that you can get to us. You can call us. You can email us. You can always reach out to me directly. I'm not terribly hard to find. I love having these conversations. I can get you to the right people. So, Chris, look, they can find me on LinkedIn. They can find me through revenova.com, and all of our teams there. All of our team are there as well.
Perfect. Chris, thank you so much. If you guys can't find Chris or Revenova, hit me up. I will gladly put you guys in contact with them. But that is going to be it for today, ladies and gentlemen. As always, if you got value in what you heard and you're not subscribed, subscribe to the show, you guys. And if you're feeling ambitious, rank that show on iTunes and Spotify, because if you see value, your network's going to see it as well. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys, and we'll be talking to you soon.
Came back with a bang, window down, yelling out money, anything.